Hello, so today's going to be a little bit of an interesting one. This is a 6 Hunter game. So 6 Hunter is very strong. It's usually very high roll, but I have a good spot for it because of trainer golems. And I think a lot of times you run into these awkward situations when you're playing around your trainer golems that you really want to hit something that fits your board, but also kind of works really well with what your trainer golems are. And it feels very RNG, right? Trainer golem. I think the problem with Trainer Golem is that there's some spats that are so incredibly good at capping out your board. So for example, like Arcana or even Preserver, where they have these global effects that are very, very strong. And I think that's what usually makes Trainer Sentinels really, really RNG. You'll look at somebody's Trainer Sentinel, and then everybody also can play towards like a 9 trait if you have one of them. So for example, someone has a Fairy Emblem, or a Portal Emblem, or a Frost Emblem. They're very scary into late game. As you can see here, I have Shapeshifter, which maybe I can play 8 Shapeshifter. I've heard some great things about it. I haven't had a chance to try it out myself, but I also have a Hunter Emblem. A lot of times with Trainer Sentinels, because everybody's trying to stretch goal, they're trying to make it to some like insanely capped, really high board. A lot of the value that you get in playing Trainer Sentinels is finding a comp that works with your dummy that actually like powers up with your dummy. So for example, Shapeshifter is really good to play around in this game, because Shapeshifter will give me a good opportunity to get a stable front line a lot earlier than other people. The idea is that you should try and always use your Trainer Sentinel. Like, obviously there's different play styles. The way I always try to play with my Trainer Sentinel is to put myself in a spot where the Trainer Sentinel is helping my mid game enough such that I can make it to a late game board and be very strong late game. Here I had Unleash the Beast, and I also have Learning to Spell. Learning to Spell isn't that great with Hunters. It's pretty good with Mages if I want to play Vertical Mage. However, I don't really have a good Mage opener. There are other people with Mage Emblem. There's a lot of Blasters. This guy has Mage, and he looks like he's playing Honeymancy. Nobody seems to have Fairy or anything super crazy like that. I just take Unleash the Beast here, because if you look at my items on bench as well, I have good AD items that I can make a solid frontline kind of monster, right? And that's like the thought process I have. So I'm actually going to play towards the Hunter Emblem. The Hunter Emblem isn't that strong, but like I said, you want to just make use of your Trainer Sentinel to try and preserve HP. The reason is that somebody is very often, depends on what your dummy is, right? If you have a dummy that's like a Fairy +1 and then you hit Fairy +1, you know that you're going to win out because you're going to hit 9 Fairy. However, if you could just try and play to save HP, because if everybody has a better dummy than you, eventually they'll have to fight each other, and the people that are greeting the most are typically the ones that are going to lose the most HP early game into mid game. So what I want to do is I just want to make sure I'm as strong as possible early. Right now I'm 3 Hunter, 3 Shapeshifter. It's obviously not the best board that I can make. I would ideally like to play 1 extra Shapeshifter, or I would like to play 1 extra Hunter in place of one of my other units. But here my plan is to just play Hunter. I scouted around, nobody has a Hunter +1. Usually when you play 6 Hunter, it's usually by nature of having Hunter +2, funny enough, if you look at stats and stuff like that. 6 Hunter is very strong, but it's very limited by the amount of shit units you have to play. You have to play all these like little shitters like Nomsy and Twitch and Jinx and Kog'Maw. It's really good if you have like a reroll setup and you get dropped 2 spats. Like for example, let's say you're playing around Kog'Maw reroll with Jinx reroll, like that type of board, and then you get 2 Hunter spats at one point just by nature of the galaxy. It's very easy to be really, really strong because you're already rerolled those 2 units, and then you can just level for 6 Hunter and you just become very, very strong very, very fast. However, in this case, I only have a Hunter +1. I could play towards 6 Hunter. That's what I'm kind of angling. I want to play some sort of Hunter Shapeshifter board. That is something that's very commonly played. And I put all my items on this Jace because I'm hoping that the Jace will do a lot of damage. And I have the 4 Hunters in. I think I would have been better off playing around 4 Shapeshifter and 2 Hunter. I don't know why exactly I made this decision, but I think it was just because I saw this Jace with a lot of damage and I thought that I can win a lot of fights or at least do a lot of damage. But I should have definitely played around the Shapeshifters instead. So here I'm just putting in the Hunters in my board, and then I'm just going to play some rendition of Shapeshifters around the Varus, because I'll get Frost for free, and then I can also put in Shyvana to get Dragon, which gives me anti-heal. So as of right now, all of my item economy is really good, and that's the good part about playing around Hunters and Shapeshifters, is because you get some Shred and Sundering from Twitch, you get some anti-heal from Shyvana, but more so than that, if you look at my items, for example, I have a Last Whisper and an Edge of Night. So I have good OLAF items because Edge of Night's good on OLAF, Unleash the Beast is good on OLAF, and Last Whisper is to give me some sort of Sundering. As soon as I get a Shyvana, I'm pretty stable around playing, how do I phrase it? I'm pretty stable to play towards Dragon late game as well. And either way, if you play dragons, because of the Nomzi and the Shyvana, you get anti-heal. So all of my utility is dealt with. Every item now that I make could either be a tank item, a secondary carry item. It's kind of like I have all the checkboxes off with my comp right now. And that's a really good hallmark of being strong in your mid game. Right, as a lot of people are greeting their components, they're not sure what they're making, they're not sure what they're slamming. Me, I have all my items slammed, I have a good item set, and that's why I chose to play towards this line as opposed to mages. If I had a bunch of rods and tiers, it would be a lot better to slam all the items and play around mages. With Trainer Sentinel, you can try and play for first, but if you don't have a dummy that can play for first, you have to make sure as hell that you can play for a top 4 somehow. Right, that's the idea, and you want to be really strong in your early game as well as your mid game. In late game, sure, somebody will have 9 fairy, 7 frost, like fucking 5 pyro, you name it, whatever the fuck they want to have on their board, let them have it, right? Let them go crazy. One guy has a shapeshifter emblem and he hit what's it called, Spider Queen, so he's literally like fucking gonna be 8 shapeshifter Spider Queen Elise. It's gonna be fucking broken because Spider Queen Elise, as while it's got nerfed and it's quite bad, in certain setups it's still really strong. It's still like a really fucking strong unit. But like I was saying, I just want to make sure that I'm as strong as possible until the late game scenarios. Now, like I said before, I should have probably played around 4 Shapeshifter here. I played around 4 Hunter. I think that was a huge mistake. My items are pretty good if I played around Shapeshifter. What happened is that I want to transfer items onto this Jace. I should have used the remover. I think I just acted too fast and I sold my Shyvana, and that's what ended up happening here. That's a huge mistake on my part. So obviously my board would be a little bit stronger in this early game if I kept the Elise and I played around 4 Shapeshifter with 2 Hunters in the back line. My bad. You know, sometimes I play these, like a lot of these games happen like very late at night after stream, because I'm just trying to recover elo that I lost during stream, because streaming is hard and it's hard to like do all of that and play TFT. So obviously there's a little bit of mistakes in this early game. So what I would recommend is, if you have the chance to play a vertical frontline trait, you should always play the vertical frontline trait in your early game and mid game, because it will generally the early game and mid game is whoever has the better frontline wins. Right? You might think that's a DPS thing, but typically it's, if you have a really strong and stable frontline, you will be very strong and stable into your late game. Right? Here I'm just putting a Warwick because I want a better frontline. There's Elise right there. I should just play the Elise. I don't know why I'm not playing the Elise. I should just play the Elise. I don't know why I'm not playing the Elise. Buy the Elise. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my gosh, I'm playing so poorly. Okay, I should just buy the Elise and play the Elise and play 4 Shapeshifter. I think I just might have not even noticed the Elise. I think I'm just like, maybe this was during stream and I was talking to chat. Who knows? But I think it's just a poorly played early game here. Very poorly played early game. Because this could equate to a lot of lost positioning. Or lost placements. Like, what am I doing? Just buy the Elise. I don't even buy the Elise. I think I just didn't notice. I just didn't even look at my shop. Oh, that's so... Oh, I see it now. Okay, do I sell? Come on, sell a Nomzi and buy... Oh my god. I don't know what I did there. 4 Shapeshifter is really good for mid-game. That's why. So that was just kind of a throw. And not buying the Elise as well. That's unexcusable. I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I was just tabbed out. I might have been tabbed out. Sometimes when I'm off stream, I have like a Twitch stream open. I'm watching it. So I might have just been watching a movie or something. Oh, you know what this is? Let me check the date. If this was on Wednesday, I was probably watching Will Neff's movie night. September 14th is when this video was. No, that's only like a Saturday. I don't know then. I don't know what I was doing. But we'll see. I find another Hunter. That's fine. I shouldn't be playing around 2 Shapeshifter though. I should just like sack Frost and play around 4 Shapeshifter. It would be so much stronger in these situations. Like Elise would have been so essential. I make Warmog because I'm definitely going to play Shapeshifter frontline, so I feel really confident about that. Gain a random emblem is a bit risky, especially in this galaxy. Sometimes it's really good, but it's going to hurt your econ way more than it's going to help your econ, and I really want to play a level 8 board because I want to play around the Olaf. But yeah, besides the mistake of not buying Elise there and not playing around 4 Shapeshifter, I feel like this game is kind of okay for the time being. This is the guy that looks like he had a better spot for mages, which is why I couldn't really play towards mages. And we're just going to keep playing around hunters. Hopefully we get something like Hunting Frenzy. That would be really great for us, but who knows. This Jace is really strong just because I have triple items on him. And Jace does a lot of damage, so I might be able to just cheese some of these fights. But guess what? It would have been stronger if I had 3 Shapeshifter instead of 3 Hunter. Just saying. Featherweights, I'm not really rerolling 1 cost here, even though it might be a 1 cost reroll spot. It's not good enough for me. Mentorship is pretty good, because you can get a lot of value off of it. I don't need Silver Veil because I have Unleashed the Beast, so I should probably just take Mentorship here. Why am I rolling Mentorship? Why did, like, what the fuck? What am I doing? I'm playing so bad. It's Mentorship always there. I mean, this just gives me Econ, which is fine, but it's like, why do I need this? Oh, I guess it gives me Jace too, which helps my mid game into late game. Bro, that's just so fucking dumb. I should have just taken Mentorship because the shielding is really important on a lot of the units. I guess it doesn't matter that much because my hunters are gonna be mostly backline. Mentorship's a lot better when you have more frontline units. Yeah, and then see if I held the Elise here, I could have easily just played 4 Shapeshifter now. Right, I'm still 3 Shapeshifter. And the reason I'm making such a big deal about this is because the Jace is my item holder, right? 4 Hunter would make sense if all of these items were Nomsy items. Because then I'm getting a lot of value off of the Nomsy. But here, I'm not getting any value off of the Nomsy because like my hunters aren't really doing that much. My Jace is my main damage dealer. So I really, really want my Jace to like kind of pop off here. Also, this guy found a Nasus on level 5 while rolling for Elise. Like, look at this high roll. It's insane. He has triple Elise items, Spider Queen Elise. He doesn't have Elise 3, but he has a Nasus. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. But that's what happens with Trainer Sentinels, right? Sometimes people high roll, sometimes you low roll. I got the fucking perfect mage pivot if I wanted it, because double Blitzcrank, double Vigor, and a Vex. But you know, it's okay. I don't think I would have beat the people. The thing is, my board is kind of awkward because the people that I win against, I think I would have won against anyways, and the people that I'm losing against are the people that I'm probably also going to lose towards. So it's not making that big of a difference, the fact that my board wasn't super optimal here. But, you know, as a learning experience, I do want to make it very clear of the things that I should have done versus not done. Also, this guy has a Rise on level 6. What the fuck is this? Everybody's high rolling. This guy has an Arcana Scholar and he has a Rise on level 6 with perfect Rise items. Like, what the fuck? This lobby is so hard. This is not the type of lobby where I can make mistakes like I'm making, by the way. Because if these people are all high rolling as hard as they are, it's going to be a very, very difficult top 4 to squeak into. But anyways, I'm quite confident in 6 Hunter. I talked about it a little bit before. But 6 Hunter gives you a lot of extra value on your damage. So it's really, really strong. And it's really, really strong with Olaf in particular, because Olaf just gets so much AD that he can basically solo carry in a lot of cases. The main thing with Olaf is that you want him to have good support with a good front line. That's why the Shapeshifter works out really well. Because like, you know, if I eventually hit a Nasus, it will be very hard to kill the Nasus, and that will work out very well for me. I think I just take Gargoyle here. Like I said, I can make anything I want, so I should just take high cost, good components, because basically like my Olaf is gonna have a lot, like my Olaf is gonna do so much damage, and he gets Omnivamp anyways from his own innate abilities, that even though like I might want a Bloodthirster later, I should probably just, you know, play those Olaf items for now and then worry about fixing my Olaf items with a remover later in the game. I don't think I level and win here. I should have just held a Shapeshifter. Like that's the only big takeaway here. Right? It's such a big mistake, but my game would have otherwise been so fucking incredibly strong if I just had like 4 Shapeshifter right now. Right? If I just held on to an Elise and I put in a Shapeshifter, would my boardness not be infinitely better? This guy also has a Rise. What the fuck is this? He's not even playing Rise and he has a Rise. Everybody has a 4 cost except me. I mean, it's good for me because then they'll thin out the pool and then maybe I'll hit the 4 cost later. But let's just see. Like I said, because I haven't been playing that much, I'm going to older and older VODs. This might have been like a tilt game, maybe. It might have just been like, you know, me being stressed that I didn't have a good dummy. And obviously in hindsight, it's very easy for me to point out these mistakes. But I think it was just that one turn that I didn't buy the Elise. I think I just didn't, I think I just prioritized Econ. I didn't want to sell the Nomsy pair. I think it just would have been better if I had bought the Elise. because then it guarantees the 4 shapeshifter. And I think that, like, you know, if I find a shapeshifter now, I'll obviously play it. But I think it's just at the time I didn't want to play it for some reason. Excuse me. So it would have been better to just, I don't know. It would have been better just to get in the shapeshifter before. Or buy the shapeshifter so I can put it in later. There I'm showing 6 Hunter, by the way. You can see how much damage and AS it gives. So it actually makes everybody into a demon. It's very, very strong. You just have to have a lot of items, right? Like, with 6 Hunter, a Nomzi, a Twitch, and a Jinx, like, even a Jinx 2 will do a lot of damage. So you have a lot of option to have secondary carries. If you don't have a lot of items, though, you can really fall flat. That's the main thing with 6 Hunter. But like I said, you usually play it when you have a good Hunter reroll spot, and then you just get 2 extra Hunter spats, which makes it convert into a really strong and powerful position. Bro, I'm just screaming at myself that I didn't buy that shapeshifter. Like, this whole game could have been so different. It wouldn't matter that much because I think the rounds that I lost, their boards were very strong. And I don't think 4 shapeshifter would have made that much of a difference. So it's not the end of the world. Like, in the grand scheme of this game, it maybe cost me around 10 HP. It's not like it was devastating, but it's just that when there's people that are high rolling as hard as they are, like a Nasus already while playing Spider Queen with a shapeshifter +1. Right, you have a person with a rise spot that got a rise, you know what I mean? It's like, those are the type of boards where it's like, you can't really greed too much against them because they're just gonna win late game and they're winning their early game. So it's just very scary. Also, I haven't found a single Shyvana, which sucks because the whole point, remember I was saying that like Dragon with anti-heal really makes your mid game very, very strong. Not finding a Shyvana at all naturally is really bad because not having the anti-heal guaranteed is a little bit scary. We should find it eventually, so it should be fine, but we'll see how it goes. This guy's Witchcraft. There's a chance he goes Witchcraft +2. He also found a Karma already on level 7. That's not particularly great. It seems like everybody is finding the carries that they want. I think this guy had the Rise. Wasn't this the guy with the Rise? Or is there another guy with a Portal and a Warrior Emblem? I guess there's another guy with a Warrior Emblem. Yeah, the other guy had perfect Rise items. This fight might have been a 4 shapeshifter diff, for sure. So that's like a minus 10 HP. So we're maybe minus 20 HP based on my mistakes. Obviously, I think there's still value in showing this type of VOD. I didn't know there was this many mistakes in it. I just have it flagged as like 6 Hunter, that it might have been fun or interesting. But I like showing these type of games because, as you can see, I'm making such a big deal about it. I'm sure anybody who watches this video won't make that mistake in their game. And if you don't make that mistake in your game, you're going to do great. Little Buddies is huge here, by the way. I should definitely take Little Buddies. Combat Bandage is also pretty good. I think Little Buddies is just because I'm not playing that many 4 costs. The chances are I'm just playing around Olaf. I found a Shyvana, which is great. I really need a single copy of an Olaf, which is a little bit scary that I don't have one. Morgana, maybe? I guess not. Okay, Olaf, great. Olaf and Shyvana in. And this is the board that I wanted to make, right? This is based off my trainer dummy. So I get in Dragon for free. I'm 6 Hunter. And I'm going to be 4 Shapeshifter, right? I just want to switch out. I have to switch out this, what's his name? This Warwick for another Shapeshifter. It's crazy that I've played this whole game not being 4 Shapeshifter because I didn't buy the Elise instantly. Also, the Elise instantly wrapped my backline. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's so fucking unlucky. Because look how strong my board is. I could have killed so many more units if Olaf wasn't just stuck on Elise and my whole backline didn't die. God damn it. Any shapeshifter would have been good. So this is a huge, this whole game is a testament to why you should just buy the first shapeshifter that you see and you shouldn't like greed for later. Like, holy fuck, I could have been so good. What am I rolling for? I just put in Milio. I need a shapeshifter. That's what I need. I'm fucking carrying a Swain 1 and I need Nico. Yeah, sell somebody. Just sell. Who did I sell? I sold whatever. It's fine. There we go. I am 4 Shapeshifter, 6 Hunter. I have Swain pair. I need to upgrade Swain to Swain 2, right? If I don't get Swain 2, that's a big issue here. Because Swain's going to be my main tank. I'm paired on Shyvana, I'm paired on Swain, and I'm paired on Olaf. So I'm pretty much going to roll to 0 every single turn. Usually you want to build up some bank and have some econ and stabilize a little bit. The reason I'm rolling to 0 is because I spike so hard off any of these guys getting upgraded. right? Shyvana 2 is going to help out my front line a lot. Swain 2 is going to help out my front line a lot. Olaf 2 is going to help out my damage a lot. But now that the board is complete, you can see how it kind of operates, right? The shapeshifters are tanky enough that when Olaf de-aggros, when Olaf's Edge of Night procs, a lot of the backline units will continue to attack the front line. Then it gives Olaf free reign to wrap and do all sorts of crazy shit and jump around and do a bunch of damage. And with the 6 Hunter, you have so much DPS on the board. It's similar to like 6 Blaster. You get so much AD on this Olaf that he's basically going to be going nuts for most of the game. Here I take a bow. I'm looking to itemize a backline unit, right? I would ideally like to itemize Jinx. I have 3 frontline items, 3 Olaf items. Itemizing any of the backline units, they will all do a substantial amount of damage because they all get benefit of 6 Hunter. One thing to note is that with 6 Hunter, there is the risk that you don't proc it early enough. So always make sure to put yourself in a spot where you can play, how do I phrase it? Make sure to put yourself in a spot. Oh, nice. Olaf 2. Perfect. Put your units in a spot where they kill a unit instantly. That's the idea with Hunter. Hunter only activates after you kill a unit. So you want to make sure that your Olaf is on the correct side and that you play around that. Now that I have Olaf 2, I was thinking like maybe I play Smolder. I can play like a 3 dragon setup and itemize Smolder and just drop down to 4 Hunter. This was more for experimentation. That's why I sold the Smolder. Because I said to myself, Smolder's a good level up. Like I can level up and put him in, but I can't really afford, to hold on to him just yet because I need this Swain 2. Right, this Swain 2 is a huge upgrade. But as you can see, this Olaf is just jumping around and he's basically killing everything instantly. A lot of the boards are going to get absolutely punished, and that's because I'm playing an uncontested line. Hunter is generally weaker, but in a setup like this, it's quite strong because everybody else is playing something else, right? And there's multiple people contesting Blaster, multiple people playing Rise. There's a Witchcraft Fairy player, but basically nobody is playing Olaf, and that's the important part to note. But I'm gonna keep rolling. I just need to upgrade somebody. I rolled a little bit too deep here, probably because of tilt. I've been waiting for this Swain 2 forever. I'm not really looking for like an upgraded fork cost. I'm not looking for anything super crazy. I just want Swain 2. Swain 2 is holding all my items. I don't even care about hitting Nasus. I know Nasus is not going to get hit very soon. But Swain 2 is very, very important to me. Like I said, when Olaf de-aggros because of the Edge of Night, we really, really, really want the Swain to be tanky enough to take a lot of the grunt hits. As you can see, Olaf's going to run around, especially a board like this where the board isn't upgraded. As you can see, my Olaf, I put on the opposite side of the Nico. So instead, my Olaf got a huge bunch of value. I absolutely decimated him. Is his board stronger than mine? I don't know. Is his board weaker than mine? I don't know. Put the Olaf on the side opposite to the tank. He'll reset off each kill. He will continue to do a bunch of damage. You'll get the Hunter bonus very early in the fight. Everything will be great. Right? Here I'm going to item remove the Olaf. So the reason I'm doing that is because just in case I get a Bloodthirster to give my Olaf a bit more sustain, I can then put the Bloodthirster on the Olaf and itemize some of these items on a backline unit. Of course, this is Unleash the Beast Olaf, so Unleash the Beast does have a huge amount of power when you're playing Olaf because it gives him so many good stats, and it gives him the immunity to CC even when he's not in his casting, not in his ult. So that's very important to note. I also have Combat Bandage, which gives him some sustain, so I don't necessarily need to make a Bloodthirster, but the health shield is very nice, so I would ideally like to, just to give myself a little bit less RNG. There is a chance that Olaf just gets bursted down by some board that has a lot of DPS, so I want to give Olaf as much sustain as possible, and that's why I'm kind of debating between putting on a Bloodthirster. I think I end up not putting Bloodthirster. Yeah, okay, it's fine. Yeah, I figured that would happen. I'm looking at this. It's Runans. Probably IE as well. I'm down for IE here. Or another Sterix is pretty good, actually. Yeah, I have Unleashed the Beast. I can just put Sterix on Nasus. Yeah, I think I like that. Sterix, just give him immunity. As you can see, this is once again a fight where Olaf is just going to go crazy. I have enough sustain. The fight ends so fast because basically I live and die by this Olaf killing the entire board. If Olaf gets stuck somewhere and doesn't like absolutely annihilate the entire board, then I'm probably going to lose anyways. So like this fight, for example, like obviously if Olaf had some healing, I probably would have won. But the thing is, his front line is just too tanky that I couldn't chew through it. So it just is what it is. That's my thought process here. Olaf does really well if you just give him pure damage. So I'd rather him have Edge of Night to de-aggro than something like a Bloodthirster. I think I would have been better off not making a Sterix on Nasus though. Sterix on Nasus seems like it's pretty good, but I think it would have been better. I would have been better off if I put another item on Jinx to have a secondary carry. So I think that's another small optimization I could have done better with this comp in particular. But like I said, this is something that very rarely is played. It's a trainer sentinel, especially type of comp. So we're just trying to like cheese a win here. Like I said before, I didn't think my trainer sentinel was that incredible. I could have maybe played towards 8 shapeshifter or something like that, but because there was an Elise player already, the shapeshifters are all getting held on to, so it's really hard to stabilize that board. Look at this guy. This guy's like a really strong rise board, and my Olaf just made it all the way to the end. Killed the backline. Another thing to note is that I'm rolling so deep every single turn. You might think to yourself, oh, you're stable, save econ. It's like, I just need Swain too. I have no upgraded frontline, right? Besides Shyvana, but Shyvana's kind of fake. I'm not going to itemize Shyvana, right? So I'm literally rolling for this Swain every single turn. And we finally hit it. There we go. We got Swain. Now we can chill a little bit. Now we can finally chill. Because we have a tank. We have a unit that can take some hits for us. This guy hit Forbidden Idol, by the way. I don't even know how we got a Forbidden Idol. But, you know, whatever. Go off, King. We're basically playing for 4th here. If it wasn't clear from the start of this game, the way I was explaining it, we're pretty much playing for 4th the entire game. It's not the most interesting game, but it is something to like, hey, you get a Trainer Sentinel, just try and play a board that is uncontested, try and hit as many units that you can, upgrade them, and try your best to play for placement, right? This is a blaster board. He's going to have a lot of damage. He has Arcana to even cap out his blaster board really, really high. As you can see, the Olaf is getting stuck. As soon as Olaf gets stuck, that's when you lose the fight. But as long as we get him unstuck, we should be fine. It's going to be close. Yeah, I lose this fight. He has way more DPS. But that's why you really need a strong tank. You need a strong tank when you play hunters, no matter what your hunter board is. That's why Jinx worked really well with Wukong, right? You get a lot of value from the hunter bonus, giving you a bunch of AD, which just gives you a bunch of like damage to do. But whenever you're playing Olaf and Jinx and all of these other units, you need this front line to exist so that you can make use of that AD, right? Olaf, he does a lot of damage, yes, but the problem is if another board has a lot of HP, he's gonna have a hard time chewing through it. And if he has a hard time chewing through all of the if he has trouble chewing through everything, then everything like the hunter bonus is basically useless, right? To a certain degree. The better your front line, the better you can use Edge of Night to kind of cheese through your opponent. That's like the main thing that you should always take away from this. A lot of these boards are very strong. There's like a 6 Scholar with Arcana. There's like a fucking Elise board. As you can see, like, you know, comparatively, even if I played around mages, like I didn't have mage items, so I couldn't. All of these boards are insanely fucking strong. Now this board, this guy's greeting. He's level 8, but he's 50 gold. There's a lot of his board that's not upgraded very heavily, right? He has a Nasus 1, for example. He's trying to go level 9, and he's just holding on to a bunch of the shapeshifters. There's a good chance I actually win this fight, because the Elise cannot kill everybody, especially now that she got nerfed quite a bit. Yeah, watch this. I'm just going to win. Because my Olaf killed enough of the units before he got stuck. That's like the main thing. As long as my Olaf didn't get stuck on the Elise at the start of the fight, I can actually beat him. And that's enough to probably get me to a top 4. And that's basically what all I was playing for this whole game. This guy's 4 Arcana, 6 Scholar. I'm never beating that board. 6 Scholar is insanely strong vertical trait to hit. It's way stronger than 6 Hunter. By far, you can look at the stats if you don't believe me. Of my dummies, Mages wasn't that great because I didn't have mage items, so I couldn't play around mages. But even so, I would need 2 spats to hit like max mage, or 3 spats, I think. They changed it. Shapeshifter was really, really strong to play around, but there's another Shapeshifter player. As you can see, this game, it took me the entire game to find Swain 2, and I started the game with a Swain. Like, I literally had a Swain in stage 2, and it took me until like end of stage 4 to find Swain upgrade. So, you know, that's how it's really hard sometimes. This Scholar guy is crazy. Don't I? If I win against this Scholar guy, I think the Raj just does way too much damage with the Scholar. Yeah, that's fine. But like I said, obviously we played a bit shaky, so you know it's a little bit scary right now. Imagine if we had like around 15 to 20 HP. Remember I was talking about all those turns that I messed up. I was like, I should have held on to a Shapeshifter. I should have held on to a Shapeshifter. Shapeshifter would have been really great here. If I held on to that for a little bit, I probably would be in a lot better of a spot. This guy has like basically the Giga Blitzcrank, and we have the Giga Elise. So, you know, it's probably not going to work out well for me. But we pretty much guarantee top 4 because the guy that's 3 HP, he's going to rotate into one of the strong players eventually. I don't think the guy with 3 HP is the strongest player. So we can just easily just bleed out to whatever placement it is. Obviously, if we saved 15, 20 HP, we might have even gone third this game, even though 600 isn't that strong. But just because we played around our Trainer Sentinel really well. And that's the best you can do with Trainer Sentinel. When people have really, really strong setups, or you look at them and they look like they can hit a vertical, or they can hit like a really coherent board, you should always just try to play something, right? Try your best to do something. I think I'm debating if I put the Sterex on the Jinx, but I think this is fine. I found a Briar, so I should be fine. I just need to try and avoid this Blitzcrank with the Olaf. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to like find a positioning where I can get the Olaf to avoid the Blitzcrank as long as possible, because that's the only guy I really lose to. This guy's very strong, but somebody should die here, right? It might not be me. Hopefully it's not me, but we'll see. This guy's damaged. It looks pretty good, but he's not playing like vertical Honeymancy, so there's a good chance we can actually like cheese. Oh, no, I think I'm dead here. Do I live with 1 HP? Perhaps. Nice. But like I said, if we had like, you know, 20 or more HP, there's a chance we can even go third, right? Because look, this is the guy that's playing for third is the Elise player. We even beat the Elise player 1 round. So we might have easily been able to, oh, actually, the Blitzcrank player is dying. Oh, no, the Blitzcrank's gonna live. It's Forbidden Idol Blitzcrank. Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, now, I don't think we beat the guy that's 3 HP. But if we had, like, you know, 10 more HP from our mid-game, playing it a little bit better, we probably would have gotten third this game. And that's better than you can ask for, right? That's pretty much all you can, like, you know, look at our Trainer Sentinel. Do you think that's a placing third? So, I think I'm placing fourth here because I don't beat the guy that's 3 HP. Now, like, I don't beat him anymore, because it's a different guy. Yeah, this is the Elise player. The Elise player is really high cap now because they actually spent their gold and they have upgrades. So I don't think I could beat this guy now. So I think I'm going fourth here. But if I was a little bit more HP and I could have survived this round, the chances are I would have more HP than 3, and then I would be able to get a third. So that's what it cost me. All those mistakes early game, it has a direct impact on my placement in the final game, right? So here, this is what I'm saying. I don't think I beat this guy, but it wouldn't have been that bad of a loss, right? I'm only -5 right now. If I had 10 more HP, I would have been 5 HP, and then we both die, and then that person probably would have gone in fourth, and I would have went third. So we got a fourth. That's fine. But this was our board, right? We just played around the Hunter emblem with shapeshifters. This is something that can work outside of this, but usually this is like a 4 Hunter setup, right? Because you don't have the Hunter +1. So instead, you will play something like a Pyro unit or a Diana or something like that to cap out your board better. This is also a way to cap out your board when you're playing around Hunters, when you're just playing Jinx and Kog'Maw reroll. Typically, you play Vanguards instead of Shapeshifters, though. Vanguard synergize a little bit better when you're playing Jinx Kog'Maw because you can make use of Blitzcrank with Rumble. That gives them some of their synergies as well. But either way, that was the game. Hopefully it was enjoyable. It wasn't the greatest game, but you know, I'm doing this one a little bit rushed. And I think tomorrow there should be the patch notes, so we're going to go over the patch notes, and then I'll try and make guides for next week in lieu of the new patch. So that will be great. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this was enjoyable, and the main takeaway from this is, like, you know, obviously to point out my own mistakes, to point out how I was able to get a top 4, and then to show, like, even in some low roll, like, you know, I didn't have Swain for a while, I had to roll really deep for Olaf. Playing an uncontested line with Trainer Sentinels, as long as you're playing around strong units, I had Unleashed the Beast, so I had a good opportunity to play around this Olaf, and then with combat bandages, just full damage Olaf with 6 Hunter, I was able to win really convincing a lot of the stage 4 fights, and that's what put me in a position that I can actually get a 4th without needing to lose the game on the spot by playing some sort of, like, really meta comp, right? But anyways, thank you for watching. Hopefully that was enjoyable.